I still feel a knot in my throat whenever I recount that night. Everything actually began with a simple curiosity. What seemed like a fleeting, insignificant impulse at the time turned into an experience that would shake me to my core. I'd always seen the old cemetery on the outskirts of the city from afar. Its crumbling stones, crooked crosses leaning at impossible angles, roots clawing through the soil as if trying to escape from the earth itself. I'd walked past it several times during the day, yet I had never dared to step inside. It was actually my friend's idea. "Let's check it out at night," he said. At first, I laughed it off, but then this strange game of courage began to appeal to me as well. Inside, I felt a strange pull, a mix of curiosity and fear that I could not resist. I parked my car in front of the cemetery's rusty gate. It was past midnight. The air was cold, damp, and carried an earthy, almost metallic scent. The iron bars of the gate gleamed a pale grey under the moonlight, and the faint sound of wind brushing against them seemed to echo the whispers of long-forgotten souls. My friend looked at me and smirked, but there was as much apprehension in his eyes as in mine. Silently, we pushed the gate open. The creaking hinges tore through the night stillness like a warning. The moment we stepped inside, it felt as if the outside world had ceased to exist. The distant hum of the city was gone, replaced only by the rustling of dry leaves dragged by the wind. The cemetery's stones varied in size. Some leaned, some were buried deeply into the soil, and others appeared fused with the earth itself, bearing the weight of years and neglect. Our footsteps echoed unnaturally, as if we were walking on a surface just above the graves themselves. My friend turned on the flashlight and scanned the surroundings. The beam disappeared among the stones, and shadows constantly shifted and changed form. "Look," he whispered, "it's like they're playing tricks on our eyes." He was right. Every stone, every shadow seemed to watch us, tracking our every movement. Some shadows stretched unnaturally long, forming shapes reminiscent of human figures, only to collapse into unrecognizable forms seconds later. A shiver ran down my spine, part fear, part fascination. We walked toward the center of the cemetery. Along the path were more scovered angel statues, broken crosses, and gravestones whose inscriptions had been erased by time. Each surface was darkened, cracked, and scarred, like silent witnesses to centuries of forgotten lives. I knelt beside one stone and noticed it dated back to the 1800s. The names of those buried were lost, yet their stones still stood, silently guarding memories no one would remember. My skin crawled. It felt as if a presence watched me from the shadows. Suddenly, the wind stopped. The air inside the cemetery became heavy, as if the world itself were holding its breath. My heart pounded wildly. My friend looked at me, his voice trembling. "Did you hear that?" At first, there was nothing. Then I caught a faint whisper, as if it were rising from beneath the soil. I couldn't understand the words, but the sound brushed against my ears like a chilling hum. A mixture of dread and curiosity twisted inside me with every passing second. As we paused to listen, the murmurs multiplied. It was as though multiple voices spoke simultaneously, some low and hollow, others sharp and piercing. We swung the flashlight back and forth, but there was nothing to see. Only shadows moved among the stones, impossible to grasp or identify. Panic began to rise inside me, yet my friend insisted on moving forward. "Maybe it's just our ears playing tricks on us," he said. I noticed the false confidence in his voice, though my own pulse continued to race uncontrollably. We advanced further. In the middle of the path stood a large tomb monument, its stones cracked and its door slightly ajar. The carvings on the monument, though eroded by time, still hinted at human forms. Faces faded, hands pressed against the stone, if frozen in agony. My friend pushed the door open, and a strong scent of mold poured out. The interior was pitch dark. I raised the flashlight and peered inside. Empty coffins, fallen stone slabs, and dangling spiderwebs filled the space. but there was something else, shadows etched against the back wall. Human figures or tricks of the light, I couldn't tell. My friend took a step forward, but I grabbed his arm. "Let's not go in," I said. A strong, instinctive feeling warned me that stepping inside would be irreversible. Thankfully, he stayed silent, and we closed the door. As soon as it shut, the murmurs started again. This time, they were much closer, almost as if right behind us. I tried to take a deep breath, but the air was cold and heavy, and each inhalation seemed to thicken the tension around us. We ran. The flashlight swung wildly, casting light across the gravestones in jerky bursts. My heart felt as if it would burst from my chest with every step. We had lost all sense of direction within the cemetery. My friend shouted, breathless, "It's like we're passing the same stones again." He was right. We seemed trapped in a loop. The same stones, the same shadows, surrounded us like an inescapable prison. At one corner, we noticed the soil was uneven, as if a grave had been freshly dug. Tiny, moving shadows danced above the surface, and my breath caught in my throat. Something was trying to emerge. The earth moved slightly, like a heartbeat beneath the ground. My friend tugged me away, but I couldn't tear my eyes from it. Curiosity and terror wild within me. Finally, completely panicked, we ran. No matter where we looked, it was the same stones, the same shadows. We were lost, trapped in the cemetery's strange loop. My friend sank to his knees, whispering, "There's no way out." The crushing silence of the night pressed down on us, almost tangible in its weight. Then, in the deepest corner of the cemetery, I saw a light. A small, flickering lamp. I grabbed my friend and dragged him toward it. As we approached, we realized it was a flashlight. Finally, a man emerged from the shadows. He wore a long coat, his face lined with wrinkles, the eyes of someone who had seen far too much. He lifted the lamp and looked at us. "What are you doing here?" he asked. There was no anger in his voice, only a deep weariness. We ran to him, breathless, explaining that we had lost our way, heard strange noises, and couldn't find the exit. He nodded. "This is the place of the dead. Those who spend the night here often lose their way back." Then he lifted his lamp and guided us. Following him, we reached the cemetery gate. When we stepped out, the cool night air hit my face. For a moment, it felt as if we had returned to the living world. My friend was still trembling beside me. When I looked back, the gravedigger remained, but his expression was unreadable. His eyes seemed not to be on us, but on the graves behind. Since that night, nothing has been the same. The murmurs in the cemetery, the shapes I saw, the thing moving beneath the soil, all remain in my mind. People can sometimes forget what they saw, but they can never erase what they felt. And I still fear, when night falls, that those murmurs will echo in my ears once more.